My name is Hamish, but a lot of people like to call me Bacteria sometimes. Let's get started. We're back. Let's go. So now we have a question right here. They say, given the graph f means graph of f, describe how the graph of. So now let's say oh, you have an f. Now tell us, how would you get this? Know what I'm saying? Now what does that mean? Look, seriously. So given f of x of a graph. Okay, so now we want to think how we're going to describe this. Like, let's say somebody give f of x here. Now, tell us how we're going to get that, how we're going to get to y. So we're going to have to manipulate this until we get here. Now, let's go. So first and foremost, look. In x-axis, now look at the x, look at this. Whenever you see there's that x minus something, means the graph is shifted to the left. If you see, to the right, excuse me. If you see, let's say x plus, let's say the minus any number, let's say minus a. If you see minus, means the graph was shifted to the left, to the right. If you see negative, you say to the right. If you see positive, you say to the left. So for this case, this graph was shifted 3 units. You see minus means to the right. Oh, so my first step will say, oh, in that graph, so we're going to start now. We want to get to y. So say, okay, let's get y. Cool. So we're going to say that y. Meaning y, meaning, okay, so we say y. So we require to find, okay, let me say here, required to find, or required to prove that one, which is y over 3, and then we got x minus 3, and then plus 4 over 3. Now, let's go. So we're going to say here, let's go. So we say, okay, so now first and foremost, let's start with that. So we say, this f is supposed to be x, but how are we going to get x minus 3? Means this graph was shifted 3 units. We say when there's a minus means what? Means to the right. Oh, so the graph was shifted what? Was translated. So you can say graph was translated 3 units to the right. So graph was translated. The graph was translated. So the graph was translated. What? 3 units to the right. To the right. Okay, cool. So now we have here. Now we want to say, okay, what is the next? Next means this stuff before we go there. You know what I'm saying? From bottom up, you must start with the multiplication, and then we go for plus. Now we go. So what is the next thing say? Next thing means this graph is going to become. So from here, we want to get to 4 over 3. 4 over 3. Now you have to explain in terms of words, like how we say. So this one here means this graph was vertical stretch. What's vertical stretch? Because you multiply for something. Like if I have, let's say, g of x, and then multiply by 4. What does that mean? Means, look, let's say our g of x is like this. I'm just saying, let's say, and anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's say it could be quadratic, it could be circular. Means if you multiply means is something, because g of x means y. So if you multiply by something, means you vertical stretch. Either you move up or you move down. But for this case, since this is positive, means we is kind of multiplied up. So it's vertical stretch. So we're going to say this graph here was vertical stretch because we have something that we multiply by number. And remember, this is y meaning, so it means it's like you stretch out. Okay, so now how we're going to say? We're going to say, oh, our graph. So the graph was vertical stretch. So the graph was vertical stretch. The graph was vertical stretch. Vertical stretch. The graph of vertical stretch was vertical stretch. You know, to stretch something means like you stretch it. So it was vertical stretch. Now I'm saying it was vertical stretch, and then so it was vertical stretch. I mean, this graph was stretched. It was vertical stretch, and then you know what I'm saying, and then translated and we can say this also together. It was translated because it was vertical stretch by this, and then it was a vertical, but it was shifted 3 units to the right, and then it was translated 3 units to the right, 3 units to the right, 3 units to the right, because minus means you say the same sentence to the right. Okay, cool. Excuse me, my problem. So now next step means we here, means we right here. So we want to add plus 4. So we want to add that. So say, okay. So now next step is going to be 4 over 3 fx minus 3. We want to see, we add 4 over 3. Okay, so this, we say, okay, look, man. If I have, let's say this is my graph. Okay, okay. Remember, let's say this, okay. When you say y equal to this, what does that mean? It means this is y, it's like y equal to something. So when you plus whatever we have, means that y is moving up. It's moving up. Okay, let me give you a trick quick for people to know. X is kind of weird. For x, if we add, means we shift to the left. If x with minus 3 means we shift to the right, it's like you say other way around. You know what I'm saying? Does it make sense? For x, if we plus x, say we shift to the left, or we translate to the left. But if we add, means we translate to the right. But for y, is different case. For y, you do how it is. Means if this is y, and then let's apply 3, means I move it up. Because you know why this is up. But if I take y minus 3, means we move it down. So remember, this is like a y. Means you have a y, you plus this number. What does that mean? Means you shift this graph up. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to say, okay, for y, that means for this case here, now we're going to say, so how are we going to say here? We're going to say this graph was, means the graph was translated, what? How many units? 4 over 3 to the up. Translated 4 over 3 units upward. Units upward. Oh, my handwriting is bad. Upward, you know what I'm saying? So then we finish. So means we got the graph what we want. So in general, we're gonna say the graph was translated 3 units to the right, and then it was vertical stretch, and then the graph was translated 3 units upward. Now let's write single sentence now for all of this. So single sentence, we're gonna say, okay, so finally the graph translated, you just say the same thing, it's translated 3 units, the graph was translated 3 units to the right, 3 units to the right, 3 units to the right. And how are you gonna say? And then it was vertical stretch, and then is ended, don't worry about it, vertical stretch, and then after that, vertical stretch, means this is vertical stretch, and then the graph was translated 4 over 3 unit upward, and then finally, it was what? It was translated 4 over 3 units upward. So that's how we got this graph over here, which is easy, man. We say y equal to 4 over 3 fx minus 3, and then we plus 4 over 3. Let's go number 2. Easy, man. We out.